What if I told you this? Most people misunderstand positivity. They think it means faking a smile, pretending everything is fine even when inside, they're falling apart. But let's be honest, that isn't strength, that's denial. The Stoics taught something radically different. True positivity isn't about ignoring pain, it's about transforming pain into inner power. It's about building a mind so steady, so unshakable, that even when the storm comes, you remain standing. Think of it this way. Storms don't define the mountain, they reveal its strength. And in this video, I'll walk you through 5 timeless Stoic principles that will show you how to stay positive and think clearly in any situation. Stay with me until the end, because what you discover here may change the way you face every challenge in life. And if you find value here, consider subscribing and join us on the path of the Stoic path. Part 1. The principle of control. Knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't. Imagine this. You've just lost your job. One person collapses in despair, convinced that life is over. Another person, facing the very same situation, says, "This is my chance. This is my opportunity to finally begin again, to pursue what I was truly meant to do." The same event, yet 2 completely different outcomes. Why? Because of one timeless Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control. The Stoics remind us there are things within our control, and there are things forever beyond it. The weather tomorrow? Not in your control. What other people think about you? Not in your control. The state of the economy? Entirely outside your hands. But here's what is in your control. How you choose to react. The decisions you make today. The thoughts you allow to live and grow inside your mind. That is your kingdom. And within that kingdom you are sovereign. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about it. The last time someone cut you off in traffic, the incident lasted 3 seconds. But you carried that anger for hours. The suffering didn't come from the event itself. It came from your choice to replay it, over and over again. And this is the heart of Stoicism. Pain may be inevitable, but how long you suffer is up to you. When you stop wasting energy trying to control the uncontrollable, you reclaim that energy to master yourself. And that is where true freedom begins. Because happiness, positivity, resilience, none of these are dictated by external events. They are born from interpretation, from the meaning you assign to what happens. The Stoics knew you cannot command the winds, but you can adjust your sails. You cannot silence the storm, but you can steady your mind. So ask yourself today, am I spending my life fighting battles I can never win? Or am I focusing on the one battlefield where victory is always possible, the battlefield within my own mind? That is the first step. The first weapon, the beginning of true power. Part 2. Radical acceptance. Amor, Fati. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his private journal, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Think about that image for a moment. A weak fire is smothered when obstacles are thrown into it. But a strong fire? It grows hotter, brighter, more powerful. This is the spirit of Amor, Fati, to not only accept what happens, but to love it, to embrace it as fuel for your growth. Because here's the truth. When you resist reality, you suffer twice. First, from the event itself, and second, from your refusal to accept it. But when you embrace reality, even the harshest blows you transform suffering into strength. Picture a sculptor carving a block of marble. Every strike of the chisel removes something. At first glance, it looks like destruction. But look closer, and you see that every strike is revealing something hidden inside, something beautiful, something that was always there, waiting. Life is the sculptor, challenges are the chisel, and your character, the real you, is the statue being revealed. Maybe you've been betrayed by someone you trusted. You could drown in bitterness. Or you could let that betrayal teach you wisdom, sharpen your judgment, and help you treasure the relationships that truly matter. Maybe you've failed at something you worked years for. You could call yourself worthless. Or you could see failure as the mentor success could never be. This is Amor, Fati, to look at every hardship and say, not only will I endure this, I will use it. I will let it shape me into someone greater. The storms will come. That much is certain. But what they reveal, fear or strength, despair or resilience, that is your choice. So the next time life throws something at you, don't ask, why me? Instead, declare, this is the material I've been given, and I will build with it. This is the firewood, and I will burn brighter because of it. That is Amor Fati, the art of radical acceptance, and it is the second step to becoming unshakable. Part 3. Turning pain into purpose. Pain is unavoidable. No matter who you are, no matter how carefully you plan your life, suffering will find you. But the Stoics remind us pain does not have to be meaningless. The key is this: you can transform pain into purpose. Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Nazi concentration camps, discovered this truth in the darkest of places. Surrounded by death and despair, he noticed something remarkable. Those who endured were not always the strongest physically, but those who still had a reason to live, a why. Frankl wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." That's the essence of Stoicism. When you give your suffering a purpose, it becomes fuel, not chains. Think of a soldier who loses a limb in battle. He could surrender to despair, or he could devote his life to helping other wounded veterans rebuild their lives. His pain becomes their hope. Think of a mother who loses her child. She could close her heart forever, or she could turn her grief into compassion, creating foundations to support other families in need. Her pain becomes a legacy of love. Or imagine someone who grows up in poverty, struggling for every meal. That same person might later dedicate their life to teaching financial literacy, helping the next generation escape the very chains they once wore. This is the Stoic transformation. Your greatest wounds can become your greatest service to the world. So the next time you are struck by hardship, ask yourself 2 questions. 1. How can this make me stronger? 2. How can my strength serve others? When you see your struggles not as punishments, but as assignments, life changes. Suffering stops being something that isolates you. It becomes the bridge that connects you to humanity. And in that moment, your pain is no longer just yours. It is shared. It is given meaning. It is turned into purpose. That is the 3rd step to staying positive and clear-headed in every storm. Not just surviving pain, but using it. Part 4. Mastering your inner dialogue. Most people believe that negativity comes from the outside world, from cruel words, unfair situations, or painful betrayals. But the Stoics remind us that the real battle begins inside. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about how true that is. How many nights have you lain awake, torturing yourself with fears that never came true? How many times have you created storms in your mind far greater than the reality outside? Your inner voice can be your prison or your sanctuary, and you alone decide which it will be. The truth is, the words you speak to yourself every day shape the person you become. Tell yourself you're weak, and you'll act weaker. Tell yourself you're doomed, and you'll stop fighting. But tell yourself you are capable, that obstacles are opportunities, that setbacks are teachers, and you'll begin to rise. This is the Stoic practice of mastering inner dialogue. Instead of saying, "This is impossible," learn to say, "This is difficult, but not beyond me." Instead of, "They control my life," say, "I cannot control them, but I always control myself." Instead of, "This obstacle has stopped me," remind yourself, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Athletes know this secret well. Before stepping into the arena, they don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. They tell themselves, "I'm ready, I've prepared, I can handle this moment." And because they believe it, they rise to meet the challenge. Life works the same way. If you don't master the conversation happening inside your head, no amount of external motivation will save you. So, speak to yourself the way you would speak to a dear friend, with honesty, with compassion, but also with strength. Because every thought you repeat is like a brick. And those bricks, stacked day after day, will either build a prison around you or a fortress within you. The choice is yours. That is the fourth step, to master your inner dialogue and to create a mind that cannot be broken from within. Part 5. Anchoring yourself in gratitude. No matter how dark life becomes, no matter how heavy the storm feels, there is always one anchor that can steady you: gratitude. Marcus Aurelius began many of his mornings with a simple reflection. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Gratitude does not deny pain. It doesn't erase loss, but it balances them. Like sunlight breaking through clouds, it reminds you of what still remains when everything else feels uncertain. Modern science has confirmed what the Stoics knew centuries ago. Keeping a gratitude journal, listing even 3 small things you're thankful for each day, rewires the brain. It shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from despair to possibility. Think of someone who has lost a loved one. In their grief, they can still choose to be grateful for the years they shared, the memories that can never be taken away. Think of a person fighting illness. They can still be grateful for the strength to fight one more day, for the people standing beside them. Even in failure, there is gratitude, because failure teaches lessons that success never could. Gratitude transforms perspective. Instead of saying, "Why me?" you begin to ask, "What can I still learn? What can I still cherish? What remains that I have overlooked?" This is why the Stoics practiced gratitude daily, not as a shallow exercise, but as a weapon against despair. Because when you anchor yourself in gratitude, storms lose their power to sweep you away. And so, the final lesson is this: each day, choose to notice what remains. Choose to count what is still yours, not just what you've lost. Gratitude is not weakness, it is fuel for resilience. Remember this: the strongest people are not those who never face loss, but those who can still give thanks in the middle of it. And when you can do that, you don't just survive life's storms, you rise above them. That is the 5th step, the anchor of gratitude, the key to becoming unshakable. Conclusion. When life tests you, remember the 5 Stoic principles. Control what you can. Accept what you cannot. Turn pain into purpose. Master your inner voice. Anchor yourself in gratitude. And instead of asking, "Why me?" stand tall, look at the challenge, and declare, "This is my chance to rise. This is my moment to be unbreakable." That is true Stoic positivity, not blind hope, but strength that never collapses. If this message speaks to you, subscribe and walk this journey with us. And write in the comments, "I choose to rise."